Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful and peaceful day today. Today, we step into a heartwarming new chapter with Kiet and Tu Nha as they finally welcome their first home after the storm. Watch as they cook, laugh, and share their first meal together in their own wooden house. A beautiful moment of peace, love, and family happiness. If you love these emotional family stories, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. The soft sound of running water echoed in the modest wooden kitchen. Tu Nha stood at the sink, her hands moving rhythmically as she washed the dishes. Beads of sweat traced down her temples after a full day of cleaning and arranging their new home. The air still carried the fresh, earthy scent of newly cut timber and faint cement. This was their first real home, built with their own hands through countless storms and hardships. "Mommy," a small voice called out, followed by the patter of tiny feet. Their daughter toddled into the kitchen, arms outstretched, clinging tightly to Tu Nha's legs. "I want to be close to Mommy." The little girl's voice was sweet and insistent, refusing to let go. Tu Nha smiled, a tired but genuine warmth spreading across her face. She wiped her hands on her apron, bent down, and gently stroked her daughter's hair. "Wait a minute, baby. Mommy's almost finished." But the child was having none of it. She tugged at her mother's clothes, demanding to be carried. Tu Nha laughed softly, lifting her daughter onto her hip with one arm, while continuing to rinse the last few bowls with the other. The little girl rested her head on her mother's shoulder, content at last. In that simple moment, surrounded by the unfinished wooden walls and the scent of home, Tu Nha felt a deep, quiet happiness. After so many uncertain days, they finally had a place that was truly theirs. Outside, Kiet's voice drifted in. He had been carrying sand to prepare a small play area for their daughter. Hearing the laughter, he stepped into the kitchen, wiping sweat from his brow. When he saw his wife holding their daughter, his eyes softened. "Let me take her," he said gently, reaching out. The little girl immediately stretched her arms toward her father, but quickly looked back at her mother, torn between the two people she loved most. Kiet lifted her high, spinning her once in the air. The child squealed with delight, her laughter filling the entire wooden house. Tu Nha watched them, her heart swelling. She finished the dishes, dried her hands, and joined them. The three of them stood together in the small kitchen, father carrying daughter, mother leaning against the counter, all of them smiling. The late afternoon light filtered through the gaps in the wooden planks, casting gentle patterns on the floor. This was more than just a new house. It was the beginning of peace after the storm. Kiet set their daughter down, and she immediately ran between her parents, grabbing one hand from each. "Let's play," she demanded, pulling them toward the open living area. Tu Nha and Kiet exchanged a knowing look, the kind that carried years of shared struggles and quiet love. They followed their daughter, the wooden floor creaking softly beneath their steps. As they played, the simple joy of being together filled every corner of the house. The little girl's laughter bounced off the fresh wooden walls. Tu Nha felt the weight of the past months lifting with each giggle. Kiet watched his wife and daughter, a deep sense of gratitude settling in his chest. They had built this home together, not just with bricks and wood, but with patience, love, and unwavering hope. Yet even in this happiness, small moments revealed how precious their reunion was. The daughter kept running back to her mother, as if afraid she might disappear again. Tu Nha would scoop her up, holding her a little tighter than usual. Kiet would catch Tu Nha's eye across the room, offering a silent promise that they would never have to endure separation again. The afternoon unfolded in a gentle rhythm of play, laughter, and small domestic tasks. They sorted firewood, arranged simple furniture, and prepared the space for their first real family dinner in the new house. Every action, no matter how ordinary, felt meaningful. This was their sanctuary, their peace after the storm. The laughter of their daughter echoed through the half-finished wooden house like music. Kiet carried her on his shoulders, her small hands gripping his hair as she squealed with delight. Tu Nha followed closely behind, a soft smile playing on her lips while she wiped her hands on her apron. The afternoon sun filtered through the gaps in the wooden planks, casting warm patterns across the fresh timber floor. "Mummy, look!" the little girl shouted, pointing at the pile of firewood they had sorted earlier. Tu Nha walked over and knelt beside her daughter, helping her separate the small pieces from the larger ones. "We'll keep these small ones for easy burning later," Tu Nha explained gently. Kiet joined them, rolling up his sleeves as he stacked the larger logs neatly against the wall. The three of them worked together in a natural rhythm, father lifting heavy pieces, mother guiding their daughter's small hands, and the child happily handing over sticks one by one. Every now and then, the little girl would run back to her mother, burying her face in Tu Nha's chest. "I missed Mommy so much," she mumbled. Tu Nha would pause her work, wrap her arms around her daughter, and hold her close, breathing in the familiar baby scent. Kiet watched them quietly, his eyes full of tenderness. He reached out and gently ruffled his daughter's hair, then placed his hand on Tu Nha's shoulder, giving it a light, reassuring squeeze. As they finished organizing the firewood, Kiet lifted their daughter again. "Let's go see what Mommy is doing in the kitchen," he said. The little girl nodded eagerly. They walked together into the modest kitchen area. Tu Nha had already started preparing for dinner. The scent of fresh vegetables and rice filled the air. Kiet set their daughter down on a small stool where she could watch safely. Tu Nha turned around, her face glowing with quiet happiness. She handed Kiet some vegetables to wash while she began chopping. Their daughter clapped her hands, demanding to help. Kiet laughed and gave her a small, safe task, passing him clean leaves. The kitchen, though still simple and unfinished, felt alive with warmth. The sound of chopping, running water, and their daughter's constant chatter created a beautiful domestic symphony. In between tasks, Kiet and Tu Nha exchanged small, meaningful glances. A quick smile when their hands brushed while reaching for the same bowl. A soft touch on the back as Kiet walked behind his wife. These tiny moments spoke louder than words, the relief of finally having a place to call home, the gratitude for surviving the storms together, and the deep love that had carried them through. As the sun began to lower, the family gathered the prepared ingredients. The little girl, tired from playing, leaned against her mother's leg. Tu Nha picked her up, kissing her forehead. "Mommy's here, baby. We're all here." Kiet stood beside them, one arm around his wife's waist, the other resting on their daughter's back. The three of them stood quietly for a moment in their new kitchen, breathing in the peace they had fought so hard to build. This was more than just their first home. It was proof that after every storm, peace eventually comes, wrapped in laughter, simple chores, and the unbreakable bond of family. In this heartwarming episode, Kiet and Tu Nha finally welcomed their first home after many hardships. Tu Nha is busy washing dishes in their new wooden kitchen while their young daughter clings to her, demanding attention and refusing to play alone. Kiet joins them, carrying their daughter and helping with household chores. The family works together, sorting firewood, preparing vegetables, and cooking dinner. After a long day of cleaning and building, they sit down for their first meal in the new house. The simple wooden table wobbles, but the food tastes especially delicious. They share joyful conversations about how safe they feel now that the house protects them from storms and rain. Tu Nha reminds Kiet to take his medicine, and they express their wish to always stay together like this, filled with love, gratitude, and peace. This is more than just a new house. It's the beginning of their long-awaited family happiness.